Hey everybody, welcome to the Retire 25 podcast. I'm your host, Salomon Roybal, and today we have a very special entrepreneur guest with us, Jovante Ham. Jovante, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm blessed,
Yeah.
blessed and nothing less.
That's right, man. So you know what, let's jump straight into it, Jovante. Can you tell us a little bit about, your journey? What got you into entrepreneurship and why didn't you want to go the traditional route?
Man. So I got into entrepreneurship, man. I actually been an entrepreneur my whole life, man. So I grew up down south in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and it's just a hustler mentality,
Mm,
Where I'm from, if you don't have no money, it's you dead basically.
yeah.
If you don't have no money, man. So I come from a culture, man, of people who hustlers.
Mm,
My daddy was a hustler, my granddaddy was a hustler. The good thing about where I'm from is kind of like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
mhm,
Is that, man, we always got that hustler mentality.
yeah.
Uh, Even though a lot of people don't get it the right way, but that mentality stuck with me
Yeah.
since I was in elementary school. I'm selling something, going to middle school, high school, doing a lot of probably not the right thing, but I kind of got started early, man, doing, I want to say, when I was in college. So I graduated from high school. High school, man, I was playing football, so I ended up getting a scholarship at the Prairie View A&M University. And
Okay.
so when I got a scholarship out the Prairie View to play football, I got out here and it's HBCU. So, I was promised a lot of things. And then when I got out here, it was kind of like I went on the back burner. And,
Mm,
so my family not really don't really have a lot of money. Come from basically the projects. Rough area down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so they didn't have any money for
mhm,
me to sending me money or nothing like that. So we would get a Pell Grant, and so, man, that's when my real hustling started. So when I got that, when I started getting the Pell Grants, the first couple I think the first two Pell Grants, I just let it just go by the wayside, going to
yeah.
buy, going to the mall as soon as I get it, man. I think one time I was got the Pell Grant, and what when we get it in September, I probably was broke by 2 weeks later. And so
Yeah.
so man, I kind of told myself, man, I had to do something different. So the official entrepreneurship journey started then. So
Mm,
I started selling shoes. Everybody now getting on the AliExpress wave,
yeah.
but man, I was on AliExpress way back in, man, I want to say this was like 2014.
Ooh.
So how it started, man, I was getting me some fluky, uh, what I think I started with, what, Yeezys.
Uh-huh.
But this was when Yeezys first came out. Nobody
Yeah.
really had Yeezys, so people ain't know how if they was real or if they was fake,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they looked authentic. So I
Yeah.
found me a vendor on AliExpress, man, and that's when it started.
Mm,
That's when the entrepreneurship journey started, man. And man, when I tell you, I was the only person at Prairie View with the Yeezy. So people just coming and buy, man. I'm saying, I think so. I was buying them for about 60, $70 and selling them for some. It just matter. It just depend on who you was. Some people was getting it for 275. Some people was getting it for 350.
yeah.
So man, I think the one time, man, I think I sold 10 pair of shoes in one day. So the money just started coming in. The
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
was, yeah, man, the money was coming in, and that's kind of when the entrepreneurship spirit kind of just came in me and say,
Mm,
man, just that hustler mentality, man, with me not having any money coming in from my parents and things like that, and that spirit just kind of kicked in, and then I
yeah.
said, man, if I can do this, sky the limit, so
Yeah.
once that kind of that hustle, how hustles kind of how they wave
Yeah.
until when I was probably doing it for like a two, and then a lot of other people start getting onto it. Because I think a lot of those Chinese people start, doing ads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people started just trying out different vendors and stuff from China. And I think that was like 2015 when a
Mm,
lot of people started really, finding out about that wave. So I kind of switched lanes. And so I was in college and I was looking for another hustle. Like
mm,
I was saying, man, I was looking for another hustle, and then I found that next hustle, and that hustle was party promoting. And so, man, I go to HBCU, and the party scene at Prairie View is crazy. So I knew that, that was one way for me to get some money. So I ended up, I kind of used my resources around me. I ended up pledging Kappa Alpha Psi. I think my 2016, I ended up pledging Kappa Alpha Psi 2016 and became an instant celebrity overnight. I got to school. So I don't know if you familiar. You probably familiar. I don't know if you went to HBCU, but
No, I went to Arizona State.
Okay.
I was gonna pledge, but then I wasn't really too involved with my school. I was just trying to finish my 2 years.
Right. Nah, man. I completely understand. But I just say it to just so you know the culture of it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, how a lot of people was using it to get girls, and I'm not saying I wasn't doing a little bit of that, but I was thinking I was always had the entrepreneurship spirit, So man, I ended up, man, I used that popularity to start party promoting, man, and it took off again. So that was my second stint in entrepreneurship. And I never really, I was an engineering major, man, but I never kind of, I was an engineering major. I was playing football, but my whole journey was to go to the NFL. So if I didn't have I ended up, getting in a lot of trouble, man, my senior year and losing my scholarship. And so, man, a lot of stuff happened, man. I was going through a lot of stuff, but I ended up having to quit the football team and go and get a job because I had a daughter on the way. So this was, I want to say 2017. My daughter was about to be born. And so I said, man, let me straighten up. I was doing a lot of bad stuff, and at this time, I was doing some more hustling, but I wasn't doing it the right way. Yeah. So that's kind of what, what I was still hustling, that's still my entrepreneurship spirit getting in. And I was getting a lot of money at that time also. And so when my daughter was born, man, I kind of found my way, man. I ain't gonna say I found my way, but Christ kind of found me. And so Christ found me. I changed my life. And when I changed my life, man, I said I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna go and get me a job, and I was gonna do things the right way, and I was gonna, be a good father and things like that. So, man, once I started that, man, I got me a job. I started. I think I got 2 jobs. I ended up getting a job at Best Buy and at Sears. And man, I was working like 7 days a week, man, working so hard, getting treated like a dog. Getting treated like a dog. I think I was making $6 an hour at one and like 17 an hour at the other, man. But I basically was grinding, And so ended up graduating school, man, and the Lord blessed me with a job, man, a great job. Like I told you, I graduated with my engineering master's degree. I meant with my my bachelor's in computer engineering. And so once I graduated, man, I went out to Fort Worth, Texas. I got a job, man, making about $80,000, man. So fresh out of college, man.
It's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. But man, I kind of found myself bored. So once I found myself bored, like I said, man, that entrepreneurial spirit was always in me. Yeah. So man, here I am now making all of this money. I'm making all of this money, but it's not satisfying to me, man. So I said, man, I'm gonna challenge myself. So I went back for the tuition reimbursement program, and I ended up going and getting my master's. And so once I got my master's, man, and now I'm sitting here like, now what, And so, man, I ended up, man, I was praying, I was actually out in Fort Worth, and my daughter was down here in Houston. And so, man, I did a lot of praying, whole lot of praying, man. And a lot of that, the kind of the transition that I was telling you that I was going through 2017 up until I think 2019, 2018. No, 2019, I ended up, it was heavy on my heart, man. Yeah. The days when I was going to work, I was making all that money, man, but the days just felt like, I didn't even know what day of the week it was, man. So, man, I said, man, you know what? I'm thinking about, I wanted to challenge myself again. So when I would come to work, I think at like 6 o'clock in the morning, we didn't have to be there till 10. So I was outworking everybody, and it's just like, man, I still wasn't satisfied, you know. So I ended up at my desk, man. I wrote a whole novel at my desk, man. So I got a book right here. It's called The Hood Scholar, man. It's a bestseller. You can buy it on Amazon. And I ended up writing a book, man, and then it kind of started clicking to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I really got some talent. Like, you know, like I really got some talent, you know. And so I was thinking at my desk, man, because now the books, I'm like, man, you know what? I need to find some way to get out of here, you know. And so I kind of was thinking when the whole Gucci, I think, I don't know if you remember when they blackface Gucci, the blackface whole Gucci, the last controversy that basically happened before this controversy here. And when everybody was canceling everything, we gonna buy black and all of that. So it's a lot of platforms around now, but at the time, man, it wasn't no other platforms. And so, man, I said, man, you know what? I was going to start that platform, you know, where people can do that at. And that's kind of what I did, man. I took a leap of faith. I ended up creating an app. I took a leap of faith, jumped off a bridge, man, when I had 300 vendors. 30 vendors on the app. I jumped off the bridge, man, took that leap of faith. And that's pretty much how I found myself and where I am now, man. I quit my job back in November. I think it was around November 9th or something like that, man. And I can say here, I don't know how many months later, man, because you know how entrepreneurship is, man. You don't even know the days. You just know the grind. But now, man, we have over 400 vendors on the app, man. We got over 13,000 downloads. You know, we raising around right now, man. So you know, everything started working in our favor, man. But I know it's a long story, man, but I wanted to tell every step and how that entrepreneurship journey kind of played out, man. And all of those lessons and all of that stuff taught me a lot to where I can function the way that I do today.
Yeah. And you know what? The story has to be told completely. You know, you can't summarize your story, your journey, because all those steps led up to it, right? You know, how you said
definitely.
Like you came from a place where it's all about hustle, right? Like you have to hustle to survive pretty much. And, you know, that ultimately led to you being able to be where you are right now.
Right. Definitely.
So when you quit your job, because, you know, I never had a traditional job. I worked at LA Fitness for like a month. You know, I got two paychecks. I got two paychecks, and I was just like, you know, this ain't for me. Like having someone tell me anything is not for me.
Right.
When I graduated from Arizona State, I went straight into network marketing. So I never had, you know, a job. I never had a boss. I never had anyone telling me what to do. What was that feeling like in November when you said, you know, I'm gonna leave this job that's paying me $80,000 a year to go and try to make this work? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, were you scared? What was that like?
Man, I would say yes, man. I ain't gonna say that I was terrified, man, but it just was a sense of uncertainty, you know. But I'm big on faith, man. And so I ended up. I don't know if you know who Michael Todd is, but Michael Todd is a preacher out of, I think, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so, like I was telling you, I used to get so scared. I used to get so bored at work. And man, I was running laps around everybody. Like I wasn't doing anything there, but I was just making it seem like it had got to the point to where I would get into work at 6 and at 7, I'd be ready to go. So I just started I'd be on YouTube all day, like researching stuff for the app, all of that stuff, man. Hey, getting paid for it, getting paid good money to, you know, kind of, you know, that's what the foundation of my company was built at. But I would say, man, leading up into that, man, it was kind of a lot of uncertainty. But he had a sermon series called Crazy Faith that was going on, and I was watching it every week, you know. So I went to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
But every Monday I would come in and I would watch it, you know, because I'd be on YouTube, this thing would come up on there. So I just started watching it. And so week after week, it's like, you know, and mind you, I'm already driving to Houston every week to see my fiance and to see my daughter. So I'm like, man, you know, I'm scared. I'm like, man, I'm gonna do it. I'm telling my fiance, But then, you know, I ain't, man, I'll be a fool, you know, to quit, you know, this is a job of people's dreams, you know? And I start asking people, you know, my mom, it's like, you know, my mom not really, don't have an entrepreneurial heart, you know? So I asked her, nah, I wouldn't do that. You know, people at my job just saying how that's the job of their dreams and all of that stuff, man. But ultimately, man, I was feeling like, I asked myself, like, what am I doing? So that feeling of uncertainty push, you know, it seeing that Crazy Face series, man, it pushed me off the edge. It pushed me off the edge, you know, and when I jumped, man, I honestly didn't know what was gonna happen. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was working there for a year. I took out my whole 401k. So I thought that was gonna be some security. So I'm still trying to control the narrative, sort of to say controlling the narrative myself by taking out that 401k. And shortly after that, I found out that $15,000 is nothing basically when you steady just spending and you're not making any money, man. So man, it was a big feeling of uncertainty, man, but it was more faith than anything, you know. So once I quit it, you know, 2 days later, we went viral on Twitter, man. My wife put out a tweet and she was like, my husband coded and developed his own app, this, that, and the third, man, and we got over 1 million impressions. So that kind of just made me like, okay, maybe it was the right decision. Not maybe, but I was like, okay, I made the right decision. You know, and then after that, man, everything just went on the up and up, you know. From that day to now, I haven't went without a thing to do, you know. So that's kind of what my head was at, man, when I quit.
Okay, man. I mean, I would have been terrified. You know, I'll tell you the truth, I would have been terrified. But like you said, you gotta take that leap.
And not to mention to you having a wife and having a daughter. And I don't my wife is not my daughter's mom. So you know, I'm actually on child support too. So just imagine that thought process. And you know, I'm like, man, well, how am I gonna do that? How am I gonna do this? And that's a lot of the questions that I was asking myself, man. But that Crazy Face series kind of pumped me up, man. I don't know, man. But anybody listening or anybody who's thinking about, you know, making the leap of faith or, you know, thinking about stepping out on faith or doing anything, man, I suggest that they watch it. Because, man, I felt as if he was talking right to me, man. I know other people have told me the same thing, but that's kind of that push that you need when you got to make a crucial decision like that. Because like you said, man, it's in our human nature to be scared, you know?
Exactly. And it, you know, for success to exist, you have to, you know, in a way, kill your backups. You know, there's that story, that famous story about burning your boats, right? If you want to win the island, you have to burn your boats, because now you have no other chance. You have no other option. It's either you succeed or you die. And you know, when you're going through that, especially when you're going from, you know, having a job to being an entrepreneur full time, making your dream, making something that's gonna make you happy, you have to have that, you know, that you can't have that safety net. Because the moment something goes hard, something gets difficult, something says, you know, you hit that first speed bump, you're gonna be like, oh no, this ain't it. You're gonna go straight back to your job.
Man, you preaching, bro. You preaching, bro. And that go back to when I quit with that 401k, and I was thinking that 401k was my safety net. And like you said, you got to burn the boat. And it just seemed as like that $15,000 went up in the wind, man. And I was basically on the island, like, what you gonna do now? You don't got $15,000 no more. Now you got $5. So now what you gonna do? You got rent to pay. You got your child support to pay. Now what you gonna do? And that's when the pressure started. And that's when the grind kicked in. You know.
Yeah, especially, you know, $15,000 is not a lot, especially when you starting off. Because, you know, it might seem like you don't have that many dues, but, you know, you between legal fees, setting up corporations, you know, any little it's always the startup fees, right?
Right.
It's the
Yes, man.
startup fees that kill you, right? Like
Yes.
to
Yes,
start a
man.
corporation, depending how you do it, but if you have an attorney do it for you, it can be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 just right there, just for them to file everything correctly so that you're protected. And my suggestion always pay to have this stuff done correctly, because it's a lot more expensive to be cheap.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, man.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of us learned that the hard way.
Man.
So right now, what is your app? You've mentioned it a few times, but you haven't said the name yet, man. Give the audience.
I didn't. I
Nah,
thought I
man.
told.
Let the
Man,
audience know,
it's
man.
it's it's called Melanoid Exchange. That's the name of the app. I didn't even know that I didn't say it, man. I'm sorry, man. I got off.
No,
We
you good,
started
man.
off with the fire already on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's called Melanoid Exchange. It's in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, at Melanoid Exchange on Instagram, same on Facebook. Man, it's something special. It's a reason why it's going viral, and it's a lot of especially what was going on right now, man. It's like when I started all the way back then, I had a vision of this happening now, but I didn't know that this was gonna happen, man. But it's just something that God put in my heart, that now, man, is going off the charts right now, because now look, everybody trying to shop with minority-owned business, Black business, especially, So that's what it is, man. Y'all can find it, man. Y'all can go and shop. We don't charge any monthly fees. You can become a vendor. We only take 6%. Man, it's really something special. I encourage any entrepreneurs, any minority entrepreneurs, man, to most definitely check it out. Follow us on Instagram, man. We give out entrepreneurial tips daily, gems, man, daily. So that's what the app kind of consists of.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna check it out. For my business. And yeah, if you have any kind of service, if you have a product, you gotta definitely check out Melanoid Exchange. Get your product up there, get it in front of thousands and thousands of buyers, pretty much.
Yes, man. And they looking to buy from us, man. The whole thing and the whole purpose behind the app, man, was just so you can be seen. Because now, look, in a situation like now, everybody's saying, "Oh, I want to buy Black. I want to do this. I want to do that, then the third." And I've been seeing famous people like tag a Black business under it. Like, is that realistic? Is that realistic? Who are they gonna choose, man? They got 10,000 comments, 1,000 comments, But a platform like ours enables, if they really want to, do what they want to say. That, granted, you want to buy. Granted, yes, you want to buy Black and all that, but you're gonna buy something that you want and that you need, And that's the reason why we built the platform, because it's so organized, If you want shirts, if you want pants, if you want we got a little bit. We got pancake mix. We got light bulbs on there, man. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of people didn't know that minority entrepreneurs made, man. That are sold, that is on our app.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's amazing. So when you came up with that idea, right? Was it always a storefront platform, or did you have an original idea and you kind of pivoted your way to where it is today?
Man. So right now, when it started, I was thinking Amazon for Black people. Then I ended up figuring out, like, man, it's more than Black people who suffer from this issue. So I made it for minorities. Man, COVID has really showed us, the market that we're in is really a really profitable market. However, man, we was able to see how can I word it? We were able to see what the real reason was. Like I said, man, the whole reason why we started it was to enable people to buy, from entrepreneurs of color, and just be able to connect them with the world. And so COVID has showed us, man, that our market, we're in the right market. It's some things that we got to tweak, and we mid-pivot right now. Some things that I can't really speak on right now, but man, it's something that's really gonna shock everybody, man, and really make it a better place for entrepreneurs of color, and really, man, giving them an opportunity to level out the playing field.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the basis is, and that's what the whole meaning behind the app was. And this new pivot that COVID showed us, and that this has shown us, is that it's some money in it. It just calls for a little bit of minor tweaks and from on our part, man. But it's most definitely caused us to pivot, man. The initial idea and what it's gonna be, even where it's at right now, man, it's just gonna keep transforming into something much and much greater. We working on it every day. I'm a stickler for research. I'm a stickler for reading. So man, I'm trying to learn every day. And if somebody think of something that that they feel like can make it better, any requests and everything, I'm a software developer by trade. So it's me behind it. So I'm incorporating things that they want daily. So yeah, man, we most definitely the initial idea is not what it is right now. But COVID and all of the changes and things that's been going on has caused us to pivot.
That's what's up. Yeah. And you talked about in college, you pivoted from shoe sales to what's the next thing, party promotion. So, as an entrepreneur, that's pretty much rule number one. Like you have to learn how to pivot. You can't be in love with what you're doing right now. I mean, you have to love what you're doing, but you can't be in love with it, because tomorrow the world might not be, they might not be accepting that anymore. Especially right now with COVID. The world's just not going back. The world's just not going back to what it was.
You're on point, man.
So that's a great platform. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
You know what I think the biggest thing is, and you just touched on it. I think the biggest thing is, man, we have to separate our idea and our emotion. Granted, man, I know our business is like our baby, and I had to learn it the hard way actually, man, because I didn't want to pivot. I'm like, man, this is what I made. I ain't trying to hear nothing what anybody else said, but man, something that I'm learning in business is, yeah, man, we got to impact. We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to serve the community. We have to do that. But at the end of the day, man, we start a business to make money. Exactly. So if any advice that I can give to an entrepreneur, man, let go of it. If it's not making you any money, no matter, we understand, that you started it for this reason. And granted, it's a different situation if you're making a little bit of money, but you see the long road. But man, if you see an opportunity to keep your same values and your same goals and attain them, man, it might not be your initial idea. Like you just said, man, make that move. Emotions and business do not mix together. If I can just say the least.
Yeah, that's rule number 2. Yeah, rule number 1, you got pivot. Rule number 2, you can't be emotional.
Nah, man. Yeah. That's something that me and my wife, man, we fight about all the time, man. Because she, she's a emotional person, and something that that I had to learn, and now we kind of learn it together at the same time. Is we cannot be attached to any idea. If it ain't working, man, it's getting tossed. Sorry, but I don't care if it's my idea, anybody else's idea. It's getting tossed if it's not working, because we want to be one of those companies that can sustain for when you think about all these big companies, we just sit back and hear it. And if I don't have my entrepreneur cap on, and they say, well, Walmart's been around 100 years, Coca-Cola been around 80 something. We just think like, oh yeah, man, but no, man. Like how we see it right now, man. If somebody don't pivot, it's over with. Blockbuster didn't pivot; they done with it. So if you thinking that you gonna stay in it for the long haul and you just gonna keep doing the same thing, man, you sadly mistaken yourself.
And one company I always bring up, especially on the subject of pivoting, is Amazon, right? They started from a bookstore, went on to selling other goods. Now they're no longer just a retail giant. Now they got streaming services, they got web hosting, they have groceries, right? Because
definitely,
they're looking 4 or 5 months ahead, and they're looking, okay, once COVID's done, what's really going to happen with people? Are they going to still be scared to go outside? Which I think they are. A great number of people are not going to be comfortable being in large groups anymore.
Right.
especially with the way it's kind of been percolated right now is like everyone's so scared of being in any confined room with more than like 10 people, which, whether whether you're gonna get sick or not, that's a whole nother thing. Whether, we do gotta protect ourselves, but that's gonna carry on, right? The impact that COVID has is gonna carry on to the future. And the companies that are ready to pivot or are pivoting during this moment are really gonna come out of this way in a better position than they are right now. One book I have, because when I started my journey, right? One, I got a mentor right away. That's a cool part about network marketing. Whether you're gonna do network marketing or you want to, just take the platform and the mentorship from it, I tell people all the time, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to do something for yourself, but you have no idea what to do, go join a network marketing company. Don't just join anyone. Go join one with a really good leadership and a good mentor program, because they're going to teach you things that you have to know, right? One is emotional control. You have to be able to control dominate your emotions, dominate your body. And one book I have that's really, really great for that is called Switch on Your Brain by Caroline Leaf.
I'm gonna take that down, man. Switch on Your Brain.
Yeah. And, it's so key to be able to control your emotions when you're going through it. Because like my other mentor says, it's the worst when you're going through it, right? Anything's the worst when you're going through it. So if you don't have that control of your emotions, your mind, you're not going to be able to get through that. You're going to come out of that, weaker, maybe less energy. You might be discouraged altogether. So right. You really, that's a key factor to be able to succeed, to be able to come out of this.
You hit it right on the head, man. I kind of speak on that. Like I said in my book, The Hood Scholar, man, just about a lot of kind of tying in a lot of that stuff that happened with me. Like when I was telling you those ups and those downs, mountains and valleys and things like that. Just really just staying level-headed, just staying level-headed. And even when things going good, I'm not riding a high horse. I'm not, and when it get low, I'm still level-headed, And I kind of I feel like, man, that's something that entrepreneurs have to learn, man, because if we can take it back to, man, when I was selling those shoes, if I could tell you, man, I think when I was selling those shoes, man, I had more money in my bank account than I do right now. And my company got valued at over $1 million, So it's like, I thought that it was gonna last forever, and my emotions was riding with it. So I was young back then, man. I was doing all type of crazy stuff, man. I go and spend my money on anything, man. I was going out to the club every night just because I was getting it as fast as I can go, man. But when I hear you say that, man, it just made me think about where were my emotions at when I was when I was making that money. What were my thought process? I was making a lot of emotional decisions, emotional purchases, not thinking what my business had on, and it really came to haunt me, man. It really came to haunt me. But man, that just made me think about that when you tell me that, man. Just some of those principles that you was talking about and switching on my brain, switch on your brain.
Yeah. So as if people are listening to this, they're starting off, especially right now, going through it. Maybe they started a business during this quarantine, during this pandemic, or they started right before it. What's a little wisdom, a little advice you would give someone that's maybe struggling right now? Maybe they're trying, their energy's starting to dip a little bit. What would you tell them?
Man, I'm gonna say this, man. I don't know, what your religion is, what anybody's religion is, man, or whatever you believe in, man. You gotta have faith. In this entrepreneurship things, man. And I can only speak from my point of view. Faith is something that you're gonna have to keep, man, on you, man, like nothing else, because nobody else not gonna believe in your idea. And if everybody is, man, you may be thinking too small, So when I set out on this journey, man, I'm trying to compete with the Amazons. And People not gonna think that, and you might tell somebody something, and things not gonna go your way. But you gotta have faith. Faith in whatever it is. I choose put my faith in God. But whatever it is that you put your faith in, you gotta know that that's gonna come true. And if nobody around you, believes it, your girlfriend might not believe it, your mom might not believe it, your business partner might not believe it, but you have to remember your why. You remember your why, and you gotta have faith and attach that faith to that why, man, and just knowing that things it might not be the best right now, man. But like I said earlier, man, when you stay level headed, man, and you keep that faith, it just life just always have a funny way of working itself out. When I read the everything story, and when we start talking about Jeff Bezos, man, they said, man, Jeff Bezos is gonna be the first. He on track to be the first trillionaire, right? So that sounds so good, man. And just thinking about like, man. But I'm reading his book, man. I'm seeing how, man, he was running Amazon. Well, he's out of Houston with no money. Like, he's dead broke. All his money is in his business, and he got to stop at a Motel 6 and have roaches crawling the ground. But nobody sees that, But he had to have faith in his vision, of whatever he believed in, what God told him, what anybody told him, he had to have faith in it. Because if he didn't believe in it, he would have quit. They're like, man, this man, this wasn't part of my plan. This wasn't part of my plan. Another person, man, Tyler Perry. I read Tyler Perry book, man, and just seeing how this man 6'5", sleeping in a car, man, in downtown Atlanta, and now we look at him now like, man, he got a studio, Tyler Perry Studios, the biggest studio on the East Coast, all of this stuff, man. And you see that journey, man, but you don't see the faith that it took to get there. And I encourage anybody, man, your favorite person, man, your favorite entrepreneur, whoever you look up to, man, go and look at the backstory. Go and look at the backstory. You're gonna see a lot of stuff that you never would have thought happened. And that should encourage you in the least, man. And it's a podcast that I listen to frequently, man. When I'm down, you know how entrepreneurship is. You might get down sometimes and get down on when my faith is running low. I think back, and I talked about this in my book. I think back on my faith files, and that just showing me, times that I got through it, other hard times that I got through. But it's a podcast. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but it's called How I Built This by Guy Raz. And man, you got it. They showing all the people who created Shopify, the people who created all of these different things, Dell, and they telling their backstory. So once you see where it is right now, man. But when you listen to those backstories, man, it's a great podcast. It just really is not gonna do anything but encourage you, man. That's what. But you got to keep that faith, man. If I don't tell you nothing else, man, if you don't take nothing else from this interview, I want to make sure that in this entrepreneurship journey, you got to have your faith, and it gotta be on another level, man. It got to be on another level for you to sustain it. Because if not so, man, you just gonna get pushed by the wayside, and when something happens, you just gonna fall by the wayside.
Yeah. Nah, man, that's true. You really, you gotta have that mind right. You can't look at that success and think that it happened overnight. You have to know it's a grind, it's a struggle. But at the end of the day, keep your faith, keep your head down, believe in what you're doing, and you're gonna come out of it. You're definitely gonna come out of it.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. They call it working in the waiting room, working in the waiting room, man.
Can you tell us again where to find you, Jovante?
Yes, man. You guys can first off, you can find Melanoid Exchange on the App Store and Google Play. You guys can read my best-selling novel called The Hood Scholar. You can find it on Amazon. You also can find it on Melanoid Exchange. You can follow Melanoid Exchange on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You also can find me at Ham on all social media platforms.
Okay, man. Well, you know what? It's been great having you on the podcast, Jovante.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely, it's a blessing, man. And I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, you know what? You know, you can find all his links in the description of the video. Uh, and, you know, it's been a great episode. Thank you again, Jovante. And this has been Retired 25 Podcast. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe and leave us a review.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all be blessed.